Welcome to Making It Happen, the podcast for working parents who are raising kids, growing careers, and trying to stay grounded in the process. I'm your host, Pauline Roth. Yeah, get her out because she's going to be scratching the door.
Okay. Just holler when you're ready.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is Miguel, and Miguel has one business or a couple different businesses?
No, I have one business.
You
The
have
other
one
one's
business.
Is more like my toys to explore, see what I can go. Kind of like my game times when I can relax and things. But no,
Yes.
my main job, I have one job, yes.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm the owner of M&K Home Systems. I utilize that came with the name with my wife, being Catherine, myself, and Miguel. So make sure you started to use the M&K. And we utilized that funny idea with the prior my military service. I used to do home theaters, hang TVs, and things like that. And that's how here after my service, I came in this community, and I started hanging TVs. I got one friend hanging a TV, and he said, dude, why don't you just do it for business? I was like, I didn't think any of it. I was like, well, yeah, I can do it. So we started posting it, and then that's how in 2020 we decided to formalize a business. That way we can start doing all the regulations and all the policies that they want. So we started doing that back in July, and it's been doing great. So we do all the services for like electrical services. We do low voltage. We do cameras, home theaters, centralized units. We have time to where we got customers that ask just to hang a TV, but they want things in the back like the panels, or they want the accent walls, and they want cabinets around it. So we do work on those things. We try
So
not
you
to
do
take
construction
too much.
too?
We do construction too,
Okay.
but we try not to take it too much because we try to focus this year. We try to focus more on what specialized we are doing, rather than take all the jobs. I know everyone would like, oh, just take every single job, but sometimes we take a lot of like quality versus quantity. And one of my goals is I'd rather give a lot of qualities than and get few jobs than get a lot of jobs and not bring the good quality that we can have.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we in the past we decided to take everything we can, and there were sometimes the things were not done right or things were incorrect. We have to refix it and keep going back and forth. So we're like, let's focus on one thing so we can, understand. But we still do a couple here. I used to get closest friends or people that I worked before, they ask me, hey Miguel, can you do this? And I was like, hey, sure. Like if I can't really do it, I will tell you no, I can't. But for the most part, usually we try to manage some things as long as nothing crazy.
So you started in 2020?
Yes.
Okay, and how is business today?
Business has been great. Thankfully, I've been every single year we've been capping ourselves a little over 20 to 30,000 growing. So it's been pretty good. I can't complain. But we have our seasons here. The seasons depends on it. Between from January to March, April is super busy. Then it slows down a little bit. Summer goes into it. It's on and off because people take vacations, go over here, save money, spend it here and spend it there. So we often it goes down, and it goes back up right in September until kind of November for the holidays, and then it stops and slows down for New Year's.
Do you feel like more people want it when there's new communities being built?
There is, yes. There's always. I think the biggest thing here with the new communities is the word of mouth, because a lot of people come to the community and ask to their friends, to the neighbors, see who did this job or who did that, and that's what I usually get from a lot of people. I get a lot of people, hey, I just moved in, and Sausage Sean just told me that you do their stuff. Can you please come and do our stuff? So that's usually how we get it. I try not to. I did in the past try to advertise myself with companies, trying to do the networking groups. We tried that, but it seems like those businesses works for some people, for the people don't. It seemed for us it didn't work very well, or we ended up spending more money than actually bringing in through that business. So, and I did notice it that a lot of people through or community through Facebook, it help out, which is a free asset.
Yes.
And then you have the people talking about you and all that stuff, and it made it work. So
yeah, word of mouth is everything.
It is. That's one of the biggest things, and I like that. And I usually, when I find out when people say that, you should reach out to the people that refer me and make sure you understand they're thankful for that, and you should provide another service for them if they want to for doing that. So
that's
we're
great.
trying to work around it with everyone.
That's great. Maybe I should have you do something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm fine. I'm down with that.
So talk to me about how when you started your business, was that scary for you and
It
Catherine?
was. And if we go back a little bit before that, I think it's more scary for us our transition from the military to civilian world.
Okay.
Because I was in the Coast Guard for 10 years, and we decided then that we were not going to extend a contract, and then we decided just to stay. It was a little hectic because we didn't know if we wanted to or not.
Let me interrupt you. You were in the
Yep, I was
military?
in the military.
What were you doing?
Coast Guard. So
Coast
I was a
Guard.
law
Okay.
enforcement. I drove boats. And
Okay.
you should do speedboats and all that stuff.
That is
So
amazing.
yeah,
Then
so
you can take a boat out for me. Anyway,
uh-huh.
go ahead,
Yeah, I
continue.
can. I can. Actually I did it when I got out when I was getting out. I was like, well, since I have the background of military and dry boats, I'll apply for ICE and FBI to do the pursuit boats.
Yes.
But it was too much because with the kids and my wife, I had to leave for 6 months. Then I had to leave for a year, and then leaving her behind again throughout that. And I decided not to do that. So I decided just to when I get out, I was like, COVID hit, so we're moving right 2-3 weeks before they closed, so nobody can move around.
Okay.
So it was a little crazy. So when we moved, we found out that this community was a good opportunity here because it was just growing, it was brand new, and it was just small. It was not hectic, already in place. So we moved here, and it was pretty good. I mean, I met a couple people, prime militaries as well, and we started going slow, and then it was a little scary at first because we didn't know what we were gonna do, and then my wife was like, she was working but she had to drive all the way to Tampa every day, so it was a whole transition driving there and back. So it was very hectic to where in the point is like, well, you need to find a job around here, so she was able to find a job here. But then I was working and I was not getting enough people where you get into those months like, oh my god, what are you gonna do, what's
Yes.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was not easy for everybody, but I felt like once you put your mind to it and you set your goals, there's times there was I was very stressful. I was very stressed. My wife will know it. She would like I would react to anything, and which is fine. I mean, I was this normal behavior because I was in a place that I was like, if I don't provide you guys enough to what you guys need, then we're gonna go crazy. So we try not to. So
Yes.
but we did what we could. It was very hectic at the beginning, but it slowly I think, I guess, once we start realizing how the system works, how business wide works, because I was working towards my master's when I was doing this business as well. So I
Okay.
was getting how everything works on the side of the business and how people works and how this community works, how the whole entire city here works. And it's very different. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition out there, especially on my field electrical. I can say every time I see in the community posting something for electrical, there's a lot of companies, and there's a lot of good and bad companies. We always gonna have the good, the bad, and the best. So it's really those three categories that separates each and one of them. And it's also the prices. I mean, a lot of people do stuff without thinking, okay, I'm gonna charge you this. I've seen in the past to where people doing without license, and that's one of the biggest thing that some people just do thinking without. I just do it because I know how to do it. But we realized then, without a license, there's nothing you can do. You
Yeah.
have to have your license in order to just cover yourself and cover yourself with the customer, because they feel they trust you. So when the people don't have their license, there seem to be that kind of effect like, oh, if something happened, now you're liable. The customer has to pay for it. The customer has to do that. But then you're doing something bad because then the customer has to pay double to get it fixed.
Right.
So it's the biggest thing. It wasn't scary, but I feel like at the end, I think we've been getting better at it
Yeah.
on ourselves, on our jobs.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like you have to pivot and grow within the business to find out what works and what doesn't work.
Exactly.
It's a lot of trial and error.
Yes. It says that we
It's a lot of
do.
error.
There's a lot of this I could do with my wife. Like, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow a lot to the point that I can find employers. I can find more employees. But we have tried to bring people in out, and I found out to have a lot of different people, a lot of different characters, different ages, people that do work hard, people that work hard, but then they don't work hard when you're not there. So it's kind of those things that if you leave them alone, will they do it right? And then you have to go back and fix stuff and do stuff for them. So it's kind of hard. But I had one of my friends, he's a bookkeeper and an accountant, and I was telling him, dude, how can I grow? I said, well, you have to remove yourself from to having all the hats. If you remove yourself from having all the hats and just focus on really what you are, maybe things will work. But then we come back into it, how to can promote it to make sure they provide a good quality. Because
Right.
the other name is my name on it. It's not their name. They go, they get their pay, and they leave. So it is important for us to understand that it's always a scareness to, okay, you want to grow, but that means you have to let other people work. But then that means there's going to be step backs. There's going to be mistakes, things that got to get fixed. And that's the thing, I guess, with growing, but that's the scareness right there, where you get scared. Will you allow yourself to do that and realize how much stress you're going to bring into it? Or whether you can be able to accomplish and try to make sure the guys understand.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It is hard. I get that because I have my own business and I am one person, and I find it hard to teach. Well, not hard to teach, but it's difficult to tell other people how to do something when your name is on it, because then it comes back on you.
But you know what it is? It is the problem that I find out is us as a business owners, we want things certain way, right?
Yes.
So when you let, for example, Carlos would say, I tell you to do this, and they'll do it. I found myself, if I want Carlos to do it the same way I will do it, those things will not happen. I learned that real quick that will not happen, because then I get frustrated because that's not the way it is. It's supposed to be, but I feel in my back of my head, it's only the way that I learn, and they have other ways. I learned quick that I have leniency of people making their own way, because you have to learn your own way. I saw my friend the other day. I was like, make sure the power is turned off. If not, you're gonna zap yourself. You gotta make sure you check. But I don't have to repeat to myself that once or twice. Goes back in an outlet, touches, and it was hot. I was like, did you turn off the power? It's like, oh, I thought it was off. I was like, no. So this is the thing that we learned. I'm like, hey, I don't want you to get burned, but you have to understand, especially with power. And for other things, and we do accents well on things. Here in Florida, none of the walls are perfect. So the perfect job, it's not real unless you take the whole entire wall down and make a level and fix it, and then it happens.
Right.
But what you have to work around, it has to make sure how you can make it perfect to the point where you can hide those things. You have to hide the missed cricket, the missed stuff, because you can certain way you can make a level. But it's hard. It's not easy as people think. It takes time. And some people sometimes look for, well, I just want it cheap as possible. But sometimes cheap is not the only way to go.
Right.
There's other ways. So it comes out to that, like us as a business owners, I get that mentality sometimes. I just have to step back, like, you do you, and let me know how that goes.
Yeah, but it's all about your mindset.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you have to let Carlos do it his way.
Yep.
But you taught him how to do it, but now go on and do it your way. But make sure you do it right, because my name's on it.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that triggers, and it makes me think. It's like, what are we doing? Because has to happen. I told my wife, I'm trying to make sure, like, I'm trying to grow, and there's gonna be times that I'm just gonna have to sit back, because I'm gonna come to an age that I can't keep going, and if that means I have to pay someone what they deserve for, I'm just hoping that what you get paid is what I receive for the quality of the work. That's pretty much what we look for.
Yeah. So are you looking to grow this year?
Yes, we're trying. We're moving some pieces throughout this quarter and next quarter to try to see if we can get commercial clients and work with the government. So
Okay.
that's one of the biggest things. Once you get into government area, it's more work, but at least doing that is more like a steady continual work, because their programs, their plans, their contracts, and all that.
So how do you get into work for the government?
You have to apply. So there's a way that you apply through the SBA, the SAM Gov.
Okay.
Thankfully, through my service, I was able to apply to try to achieve that and get the programs approved. and then we'll try to get. I think the first step for us, based on what the knowledge I got, is to try to get subcontractors. So there's already general contractors that work with them.
Mm-hmm.
There's sub people out for the small jobs with electrical, plumber, and all that. So we're trying to get into the sub, which is easier way to do it, and work faster that way.
Do you get an advantage because you were ex-military or no?
No, everybody can apply. It's just there's certain programs for certain people. Depends on your program that you have on.
Okay.
And they can apply the regular way to be contractor. This forms and all that stuff. Do it. Then veterans can apply through this program and all that stuff. But I mean, it's all the same steps, and there's actually, I guess the way they see it, because there's some work that requires security clearance.
Okay.
So if you had a security clearance pass based on
Yeah.
military range, you can have it. But there's so many things that go in the background of that.
Okay.
So I guess, I mean, in a way, it is a kind of advantage to have military, because you already have that kind of like they trust you what you do because you've been on the process before, so all the jobs and all the stuff. And it kind of, when you go to government, there's certain words in a certain a style that they work. So I guess since you've been in the military, you already know how the establishment works and how everything works. But I think it's the same. I don't think it's makes anybody different at that
Do you
point.
feel like well, are you in with them yet or no?
No, we
Okay.
just started the process, got all the applications, the paperwork. We're just waiting for one of the programs to get approved, and then after that, we should be able to send contracts and start bidding and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just
How
a
does
process.
how does this work with your kids?
Uh, it is a little bit crazy. That's the other things that I was telling my wife. I was like, because I usually right now from 2020 to 2000 to now, we my schedule was like I work from the morning until this kids out of school. So I try to be home before the kids back from school, because we have three different kids. So we have a high schooler, middle school, and elementary school. So the schedules are different. We have to put efforts in every single one because they all take different classes. They all do different things.
And you have
So
all boys,
all
right?
boys, yeah. So it's really the time that we have in the afternoon. Thankfully, to the schedule that they have, it allows you for us to have an hour with each one before the other one comes and before the next one comes, to be able to understand what they do and what they need, if anything happened or anything needs to be done at school, and then we just move from there. So that's why I try to be home. So if we do get busy with that, I will have to hire people, because I can't. I will have to be on site on there until it's done, and it could be done 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So I try not to. I try not to work late. There's has times I be working till 4 or 5, but I'm drained. By the time I get home, I'm all drained, and the kids need me. So it's hard. I mean, everyone has their periods and times to where they put all that effort. Thankfully, with my schedule, my work, I was able to be home at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and be okay with it. It is okay with it because with my disabilities and stuff, the problems that I have after the military, you don't think we're perfect when we get out. We're not. We get out with problems. After working so long, I get very stressed in my hands and my feet. I get very tired.
So tell me about your problems from the military. What do you have?
So one of my very problems that I have is one of my low extremities. So when you drive a boat, you constantly shop in the water. So you constantly just bouncing around. So my low extremities are tears. So meaning that I get either cramps or I get even lower like numbness on my feet. And then I get
Okay.
it on my hands. So that was the biggest thing when I got out of military. Like once you relax and you start doing your own things and just working into it, you get to find out that some of your nerves don't work the way it used to be. They're all different and change in times. My other ones were I can't, I have to wear sunglasses all the time because the sun or any light reflection bother my visions. So
Okay.
I either get head. I used to get like bad headaches in 2020 2021. I would get bad headaches. I would get very very bad too. I have to just lay down, close the doors, be in dark, because it was so much. It was very stressful. But over time, I think it got got relaxed, or I can control it with medication. But I try not to use too much medication for it. But I try to reduce how much stuff I get into. So I wear sunglasses. Sometimes my wife's like, "Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors?" Like, I just don't want to. I just want to wear it because I don't like the vision on it and the light it coming through. But it's just times that your body reacts different once you get to age. And I think it is once you get out of the military and you get out of the routine that you're doing, and you go back to a normal life and like civilian life, and your life is completely different. I guess your body reacts different because it's used to be that energy to wake up, to go do this, go that constantly. Then when you relax, they're stopped completely because they don't have to do that anymore. So your body completely acts like what's going on. So they start triggering things out.
So that's why you started a business.
Yeah, that's how I started. I started this because I was like, holy cow, because if I wanted to work, I even tried. I went to work. So it's a funny thing. I went to work for Amazon before. During COVID, I guess I just wanted to work something different. And I was able to experience something that I will never forget. It was a 10-hour shift, okay? On the place, packing those boxes for Amazon, putting labels and everything. But I was able to learn. It was like I learned so much stories. I met a guy. He was 70-year-old, working hard. I'm like, why are you working at your age? I was like, I have to work, because I have to be a living. Then I had a girl that she was on her 20s, 2 kids, and she had to work. I said, where are your kids? With my mom. I said, so you working here from 10 hours, 11 hours, so you don't get to see your kids. She was like, yeah, but I have to do it. I was like, so I was able to experience the kind of level of people life they have in order to survive. And it made me realize, I'm over here just because I want to work. Because I don't want to be at home. Because I wanted to experience that. I felt so bad. I was like, you guys are here because you guys really need it. I was like, really?
I don't really need it.
Like, really? I just came here to work to see. Because I was like, I don't know. I was going to do an Amazon deliveries because I wanted to see what it's like. But then I was like, only they were hiring. So they were hiring at that time. They needed help to hire for the plans. So I was like, sure, I'm just going there. So I went up there for, I think it was like 2-3 months, and then I told my wife, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I'm tired. I was like, I can't do it. I like it, I love it, but it's too many hours. Like, nobody can work more than 10 hours. And I guess that was the only ones that my body was like, oh shit, you can't do that. So I kind of stopped doing that, and we're just gonna do hanging TVs and relaxing. Yeah. Do what we can.
But you're not relaxing.
No, we try. With this job, it's not. When we go, there's a lot of people that need help with this community, especially with the builders, how they do things. We have to be constantly checking every single thing to make sure everything's okay, but it's not. Like, we find so many things. I find myself looking at things that, like, my back of my head, and like looking at these companies, big companies that have all this place in place, and they do all this stuff, and you're still finding minor mistakes. You're still finding minor things that can cause so much money after a long time to not be working, you know?
Yeah. So we talked about your kids. So talk to me about Catherine, your wife. When do you have time for her?
Ooh. Well, she always have time. I mean, she and I, we met back we used to work together when we met the first time in North Carolina. So,
you used to work together?
Yes.
How was that? How did that work?
What funny was, she was the hostess of the restaurant. My brother was the manager, and I don't know how I started working, because I didn't have a job, and I told my brother, I said, dude, I need to work. He said, well, just come to the restaurant, just work waiting tables. I was like, sure, why not? So I go there. So I went there, and that's how I met most of my friends, and I met Catherine. And it was funny because Catherine and I, at that time, I was dating. I think she just had her first baby. So we met that time, but we just talked. I was very nice. I'm a very nice person. I guess I will get food, and I always bring people that are there food. And she was always in the host. She was the one hosted that was always in the afternoon when she was opening. So she would get all her stuff. She would get snacks. I would bring stuff from Colombia, the restaurant, because that's where she's from. And I would get into it. but we had a good connection. We always talk and everything. So when I end up my relationship with the person I was with, she and I talked, but I was gonna join the service.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in this kind of era when I'm about to join the service, and she and I talked too much, talk a lot, but I was leaving. I couldn't stay with someone. I couldn't date anyone because I didn't want that kind of relationship to be like, okay, I want you to wait for me until I get back and all that stuff. So I didn't want that. I didn't want that story like, oh, you gotta wait for me and all that.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted, so I just keep their own life. Catherine went to do her own thing. I went to the military. Months went by. I came back around, and then we started talking. And then she came and moved in. I think it was in 2014, 15 when I was coming here to St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we decided to come and start together, and then I guess we just from there we got married. We got 2 kids. After that, but Matthew's one of my kids. I mean, even though I know him since he was 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
I know he's just little. I know I babysit him for one night that she needed to go out with a guy. I think she went out with somebody. I don't know, and I took care of Matthew. I remember that. Uh, and I guess our experience together now is very. It's very like we talked about, like very chaotic because we have 3 different kids and three different sections of ages because they're
Yes.
5 years apart. And now Catherine is doing school. She went back to college. She's trying to get her degree. So her going back to that, going to her school, going to work, and me working, and the kids and all that stuff is very hectic. I wish I can have. I mean, if I would have the money to have a maid to help me out with cooking, that'd be fine. Good cooking, do the laundry, do everything you can on the house, so we can take care of the kids. Would be great.
Yes.
But it's hard. I mean, reality right now. I mean, nobody can afford to have a maid unless you're rich. But
You will be one day.
yeah, but it is important. I mean, her relationship and I we're very close. For some reason, we like this love and hate relationship because we have our days too where we just want to kill each other, and then we have those days that we're good. Like I think every single marriage goes through that.
Yes.
Um, we had our ups and lows. We had our days that we just want to kill each other, but we try to work hard. Something that we find ourselves, or I found myself this year, and she did it too. We've been going to church a lot, so a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the stuff that I've been going through or we have done in the past, we have not realized how much damage we have caused to other people for just doing other things that crazy stuff. So we try to now think about it, what the things we can do without affecting other people.
Mm-hmm.
uh, we always try to see what we can control and what is our plan to be here. So we both realize that like if we put ourselves in church and we've been trying to go every Sunday, but my kid has a tournament, so it's kind of like he has his tournament this weekend. We can't go to church, and I'm like, we have to. So we're on this transition. Like we need to
Yes.
commit more into it, and then we do. Uh, but we give ourselves a time. So like as a business owners, I try to get off early or get off during lunch and go out, go
Mm-hmm.
have our time. So because the kids, usually kids and I, we don't like to leave the kids by themselves. We will do sometimes, but with Matthew and his work schedule because he's a high schooler, he works. It's kind of hard to leave the other two in the house by himself and us going
Mm-hmm.
out. So we try to either go out during the days, have a date, or nights. I mean, or dates during the day.
Mm-hmm.
When we can do it nights, we do it at nights. But it's really, I think, as a family, we fight to be constant to make sure that kids can understand how do we do things because it's
Yes.
hard. It's not everyone's the same idea, and then we all bring different ideas. And my kids, my 2 little ones, they think they know everything. So it's one of the biggest things that we try to. What are we doing? And he's like, "Well, I want to do this, but I know we have to do this." I was like, "But no, this is the way we want to do it." I was like, It's a constant back and forth." I used to live in a world where my parents would say something, I would say, "Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It was
Me
nothing
too.
else. Nothing else would come out of my mouth." But this one's no. This one would say something. He would say A, B, C, D until he figured out his way.
It's
I'm like,
it's a
no,
different
it
generation, you
is.
know?
It is a big different generation, but we try. It's hard.
But it seems like you're making it work. You're making it happen.
Well, we make it happen. We try as much as we can. We see how far we can go, but it's like it's insane. Like I was thinking the other day, on one of my posts that I posted over the weekend, it's really funny to think like if you die tomorrow, it's a one question that I asked one of my friends. If you die tomorrow, what would be the one thing you change? And a lot of people say, yeah, I will do this and this and that. So if that's the way you're thinking, so why you just don't change it instead of waiting?
Right.
Because people wait to change things. And that's what we try. I mean, that's what I try to live by. But it's hard because sometimes I can't do this right now. We can't do this. We're just going to wait. But at the end of it, it's like our life is not. We don't not guaranteed to live this much. We're not guaranteed to live tomorrow.
Right.
We hope so. I always pray, hopefully, I can wake up the next morning good, because I don't know. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to with the family, trying to see if we can get into that route and try.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. We learned a lot about you. We talked about your business. We talked about your marriage. We talked about your kids, everything.
Yeah, thank you.
But I do have one last question. What is the greatest lesson that failure has taught you that you keep with you today, that you still carry with you?
That one thing, I think for me, failing, I don't take it as a negativity. I take it more as a positive challenge in your life. Because you can have a lot of challenges and a lot of failures, but if you embrace those and turn it around to something positive, you can succeed. Because a lot of people take it, I failed this. For example, I failed this test. I can't do this test. I won't be able to achieve it. I don't think you should take it that way. There's always room for improvement, and I feel like if you fail in an area that you know that you're 100% that you can change it and keep it positive, I would not give it up. I would not just give up that one thing that make you feel like you fail.
Yeah.
And I hope people understand that there's nothing impossible to achieve other than death.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Making It Happen. If today's episode hit home, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who needs to hear it.